Get this thing started, guys. Welcome to Bird Dogging Opportunities with Scott Travis. I'm your host, Scott Travis, for tonight. Today is Monday, the June 16th, I believe it is. Yep, 16th. We'll get started here today. Kind of got a neat topic, I think, that is pretty interesting. It's when I started doing flips myself and driving around and without having a realtor in the beginning and trying to find out what houses were for sale and who lived in them, and how are we going to find out who lives in those houses and see if they're for sale or not. So that's what we're going to be going over today. We'll kind of recap a couple of things of what we've gone over the past couple of weeks to begin with. And I'll be periodically looking to my right. I've got another screen set up over here, so I'm trying to look for your questions and see if I can answer them as soon as possible for you. We are recording, and it is Monday, June 16th. So opportunities, bird dogging opportunities with myself. I'd like to thank everybody who's on the call and everybody who's listening and downloaded this program. We're going to move through tonight and kind of recap again what we've gone over. Pete was so wonderful in his infinite wisdom. He says there's not many pictures of me out there, so this is he said I got to get my face out there. So for those of you that would like to have downloaded it and are downloading it, this is where I'm at. That's me and my beautiful wife, and we're on vacation there. So let's get going on where do we look for the opportunities. We've gone over this a few times in the past couple of weeks. Anywhere, your opportunity is right in front of your face where you drive every day. Big thing is take a different way to work or on your way home just to see what's going on. Let me get this off. The opportunities are going to be right in front of you. As many houses as you drive by, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 of them that are going to be empty, depending on how long your commute is. We've got more on who do we ask? And that your biggest asset that you have is your mouth and what you can do with it, and asking people, that if they have friends, family, neighbors, anybody at their work that's going, that's going to be moving. Realtors, I'm going to say that 1,000 times. Realtors, your best asset when you're bird dogging, as far as getting you comps and getting you information on the property. But we're going to go over that tonight on different ways of getting the information on the property. So. What properties do we look at right now? What we're looking for is a certain area. We're not going to be limiting ourselves, where we're at. What we're going to be looking at. Who do we stay away from? We don't really stay away from anybody right now. All we want to do is look at the properties in your neighborhood. Doesn't matter. I'm in Vegas, Henderson, Nevada. Henderson is right outside of Vegas, so. Just because I live here, I still have properties across the state. I have properties in Florida right now, 6 of them in Florida that we're renting, Detroit, Indianapolis, Texas, you name it, kind of all over the place. So so I don't really stay away from anywhere, but I think that the best thing that you guys can do is I don't have access to where you're at. You don't have access to where I'm at. So let's work as a team and get those properties that are close to you that you can go after and get information on. That's what we need to do. What areas? I just went over that. The areas, areas doesn't matter as long as the profit's there, as long as there's income that we can generate from it. Income generated from it, meaning we can flip it, or if it's a good rental property that we have an investor that's looking for a property in that area. What do we say? Boy, is your house for sale? I mean, how easy as that can be, once you get the opening in that. Is your house for sale? Yes. Then you have the next step. What are you asking going on from there? If they're not selling it, then they're not selling it. It's not a property, not a problem. Here we go. Job of a bird dog. The biggest thing that we're looking for is to give us as much information that's available for the property, so that you can you can forward it to us, so we can work out to put the property under contract. The best thing for us is the most important thing is all the information. I mean, obviously, you're not going to go and buy a car without finding out, all the information that you want. Does it suit your needs? And same situation with the house. we're not the end buyer. We're not the person that's going to be living in it, but there is some parameters in what you want to buy, and what the market will bear. Now, you're not going to buy a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in a tract that's got 4-bedroom, 4 baths, and without adding on to it. So as long as the lot size is good enough that you can add on, why not? Why not purchase that? And if the margins are good enough, and you could the spreads are good enough that we could add on to it, then absolutely. Information for the property is essential. It's the more information, the easier we could say yes to the deal. And that's the whole thing is you want to be compensated for the work that you're doing out there, and we want to compensate. That's nothing that we're not willing, or wanting to do. It's real easy. Once you get the information, send us an email. Send me an email. It's Scott, SCOTT, at CREIA.com, and you can see it on each one of these slides. It's real simple to get a hold of us, or just go to the C2C REIA website, look up the webinars, look for me. It usually comes to me first, analyze the deal, and then we move it over to Ivan, which is pretty much more of the money and the money side of it, so that he has investors on that side. Information that's easy to read and understand. You'd be surprised on some of the stuff that I get from people, which I'm perfectly happy, and I appreciate all the stuff that you guys send over to me. I look at everything, no matter what, no matter if it's, here's a house for sale at 123 Smith Street. They're asking $90,000 for. I'll probably go back and forth with you a couple times on questions on, well, how big is it? Do you know anything about it? Now, I can do all that from where I'm sitting, but if you have 20, 30 properties a day that are coming to you, it makes it a lot easier. If the more information that you have on it, and I can go through it, scroll through it easily, I can get back with you a lot quicker. If you're going to make me do all the work, then that's really not a bird dogging. It's really not getting out there and getting information. It's finding the house. Yes, the house is for sale, but where do we move from there? So, the information that's easy to read and understand, address, bed and bath, square foot, we'll go through all that again. And we do have, I am working on a worksheet that if you do have a property, what I'd like to do is you send me an email saying I have a property, or going to the C2C REIA website, the Coast to Coast website, and you can download the form there, put it, upload it onto your computer, fill everything in. It's going to be just a click and send. You get all the information on there, send it off to us. I can go through it, review it real quick, say yes, no, tell you why yes or why no. And we move on from there. So we're working this to be as streamlined as possible, so that we can work with as many people, with many of you guys out there as we can. I always wondered, I always wondered why Pete had a thing of water, but it's pretty amazing when you start talking to air, that your throat gets so dry. So excuse me if I take a drink here every once in a while. So, we went through this, finding the property. Where do you find the property? Internet, realtor, pretty self-explanatory. Excuse me. Word of mouth, that's going to be your best. One of the best ways to do it is to find out from other people what's going on in the neighborhood, what's happening. The classified ads, that kind of goes to Craigslist. When I say classified ads, that's what I usually use. An insider is going to be a good source, someone that knows something about the property. Postcards, like I've said before, I've never used them. I know people that have, and I think that they've worked out great for them. I'm going to learn more about that, but as of right now, I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to talk on it. And then FSBOs, the for sale by owner, which is, pretty self-explanatory. I want to sell my house. I put a for sale sign in the front yard, leave my phone number, and you call me and find out. Now, does that person know exactly what the house is worth? Is there profit in it? Are you gonna find out the most information about that house? Yes and no. He's going to tell you all the good about it, or he or she, but are you going to find out, what's wrong with it? That's where a realtor is going to actually help you, because they have to disclose everything. So, those are kind of hit and miss. Know what you're getting into with the for sale by owner. kind of what I want to focus on tonight is the off-market properties, vacant homes. And this is, it's not 2010, 2011 when, there was a ton of homes that you drive down the street and you just can tell that people weren't living in it. We still have them. I know I still have them around my neighborhood. Any neighborhood you go to, you're going to have vacant homes. Some of the telltale signs, pretty obvious, weeds growing, front yard, it's a newer home, like this house down here, it's a newer tract home. There's no landscaping been put in. A lot of that was happening in Las Vegas when I first was getting into this. It was, no income qualifying. A lot of the investors would come in. It happened in my tract. It was a $5,000 down, and you could buy as many houses as you want. So we've got a tract of 240 some homes that are going into the tract. And I know one investor went in and put $100,000 down. So he held on to 20 properties, just got them locked up under contract. And then what they were doing is they were selling the contracts on the back side of it. So, it's not like that anymore, but you're going to be finding some of these properties that have this, it's a new home. Nothing's been done to it. You could tell the house is, the tract is built out. Someone's lost it. Someone moved in there, put all their money down, put everything out there. And that's, so you've got those type of homes out there. We got a question here. Let me read it real quick. I'm the only one that is still seeing the first slide. Can everybody see the next slides that are coming through? I hope so. And that's from Jeff Stewart. I hope you can still see more slides coming on. No. Okay, thanks, Mike. Only one slide? Jeez. Uh-oh. Okay, tell me this. Is that the only slide that you're seeing right now? Is it the very first one? Still on the first slide. Wow. Let me do this. Hang on, guys. Okay. I'm just working here. Sorry about that. Do this next. Technical difficulties here. Job of a bird dog. Are you switching slides here? All good, Scott? Yes? All good? Okay, I'm sorry. Boy, kind of crazy. So right now, if you could help me out, I'm looking on the side. I've got on the top here, job of a bird dog. Does everybody see that slide? And then I'm going to switch to the next one. And now I'm on finding a property. Shoot. Okay, guys. If you guys hang on with me a minute, I have no idea why I have some saying yes, it's all good, and some saying no. I'm still seeing the first slide. Okay. Hang on with me. Actually, for those that are going to be listening, I'm pretty much reading off of everything on these slides. So let me see if I can't go through it. We might have an issue a little bit later. First slide. Shoot. Okay. I'm going to try and talk while we're going through this. Is this, how about now? Is that better? Because I've got off-market properties. It's on my, I'm looking at it. I'm showing off-market properties, vacant homes. No, Michael Wetterman. Guys, I can keep talking here. Hold on. Don't want to lose any of you. If you just please bear with me. Let me see if I can't pull up another slide, another presentation here. Hang on. Boy, don't you hate this? When you have someone here that's just doing his absolute best to try and keep you guys informed, and there's nothing here. Hang on. It's reloading. It's like the screen is frozen. The screen is frozen. Okay, shows it's going on. Well, let me talk while I'm still looking for this. Vacant homes. I was going over, properties that people would go into and buy and put money down on, and then still. Let me ask you this, guys: is my face frozen on the thing? Okay, I'm gonna talk through it. You're right. Let me do this. Okay. Off-market properties, vacant homes is what we're going to go on. Another big one, just delayed a bit. Okay. Off-market properties, you could tell by keep out notices. There's notices on the windows. Keep out. It could be a bank owned, could be structural issue, could be a firehouse, could be. I say a firehouse. There's a lot of times when electrical fire, something goes on along with the. Sorry, guys. You're well animated. Okay, then it must be my connection. A lot of the keep out signs. Something wrong with the house that's been condemned, quote unquote. The city has come in there and shut everything down. So, what's the process of finding out who owns them? I mean, this is one. This is one that I always say. Drive the neighborhood. So you could, number one, you could find the property that's empty. Then look for the telltale signs. I've got up here, drive the neighborhood. A great way too as a postal worker. I mean, he's going to know how what houses in that area are vacant. Pretty much the mailboxes are going to be full. Forwarding address, a meter reader, someone that comes out and reads the meter, your gas meter reader. The electrical meter reader, someone that's going to be there on a monthly basis, or at least that knows what's going on. Another one that's really, really good is some of the community guards. Now, in Vegas, there's a lot of gated communities. So you're going to have a little guard shack that's going to have people out there, and they're going to know who's moving in and who's out. It's just, it's a simple, that's a simple one. They're going to know who's been visiting the house, who's, what moving trucks are coming in and out, Again, classified ads. You're going to find out that, what houses is for sale. And I'm kind of going over this repetitiously, but I'm kind of trying to get into your heads that, there's more than one way of finding out where these houses are and what's going on with them. So here's kind of I want to say an insider, but it's really not if you can wrap your head around this. We've got lock boxes. Now, a lot of times the realtors get real nice and tricky and hide the lock boxes on the gas meter on the side of the house, in a bush, under a tree. You'd be amazed on sometimes where they hide them. But there's two different types of lock boxes, and I'll kind of go over it real now. For those, I know that there's some realtors out there. I know Mike and a couple of you guys out there are realtors know what a super key is. Well, a super key is a device that it looks like a lockbox. It's usually blue. I've really never found any other color of a super box, but it's usually a blue one, and there's no numbers. There's nothing on it. It's a little electric. It's electric lockbox is basically what it is. But what it does is it time stamps and it date stamps, the person that's going in there. So as a realtor, you're going to have your own code and everything else. You put your little device up to it. It'll open up. The key will come out. Well, that's great, but not everybody is a realtor, and not everyone's going to have access to a super key. It's kind of a telltale sign that the old school lock boxes. Some of them are push button, and I hope that you can see the screen because some of them are push button, and some of them are the old combo locks. Well, you push in the push button, and the door will open, the key will come out. So now on all of my jobs, all of my rehabs, I always have this type of lockbox on there. Now, it's kind of common sense, but I'm not going to give all of my subs, all of the people that work for me, a key to the house. Otherwise I'd have 15 keys out, and I would never be able to figure out who's got what key when I go to close the house and make sure everything is good. So a lot of times there'll be a combination. There'll be a super box on there, and there'll also be a lock box, which both are lock boxes, but bear with me on the difference. The super key is going to be access to the realtors only. Now the lockbox is going to be access to realtors. You're probably going to give the realtor the access code, but you're also going to give, there's also going to be contractors, there's going to be pool guys, there's going to be landscapers, your plumber, everyone's going to have that, or your general contractor for the job. So a lot of times what will happen is if the bank owns it, they're going to put a super key for the realtor, and anybody that service or any of the access people need it are going to have this type lockbox on there also. So if you've got a combination of both, it might possibly be still an REO, real estate owned property, that they don't want everyone to have the key, but they want their main general or their main contractors to have the key. So it's not. I say that only because there's just little things that you can start looking out for that might key you off to either a bank-owned property, a real estate-owned property, or things like that. So if you find the old school lock boxes on there, it might be a way of looking into it. Looking in as another way to do it. Jump back. I got sidetracked over there. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over a simple. This is kind of what I've been trying to work on for this webinar tonight, is finding a house and going about it on finding out who lives here. So what I've done is I've pulled up this house, 38 Gulf Crest Court, Henderson, Nevada. Now I've got a picture of it, and I'm just driving by the house, and I'm thinking, okay, there's no cars. The landscaping looks a little bit bad. It looks like it's dead maybe. And I haven't seen anybody there. I might have gotten a lead that, hey, I haven't seen anybody in this house for, a couple weeks, couple months. The mailman's, I drive by, the mailbox is just absolutely packed full of mail. So I jump on, I get a little picture of it, and then I go on to Zillow, which is, everyone can do it. It doesn't show that it's for sale. Doesn't show anything about it, but I see that the comps in the neighborhood are pretty good, and I'm just going to try and figure it out. And I got this. You'll see at the end why I'm doing this, because you're going to be able to find all the information out from sitting behind your computer. I mean, there's nothing easier than sitting behind your computer when this interweb that we got that'll give us all the information that we need. Once again, before I move any further, if there's any questions, this is the time when I think I'm going to be running into some, and I'm hoping that you guys will raise your hand, or at least, let me know that what's going on here. Okay. I'm checking real quick. I don't see anybody, so that's good. Just want to make sure. Okay. Let's find the current owner. Current owner, we go through the county tax assessor. I've said that for a couple of weeks now. The county tax assessor is going to be one of your best things. You go onto the assessor's page of your county, go in there and look it up. It should show you everything. Skip trace. There's websites online, and I'll be showing you those tonight too, that we can go on to. Some of them are pay sites. Some of them have a limited access to, meaning that you can get 3 to 4, sometimes 5 free information. So use those up as long as you can. Google to find the current owner. Sometimes it'll go with there. If you just do a Google search on the address, you're going to get Redfin, you're going to get Trulia, you're going to get all that stuff, and sometimes they'll list it, sometimes they won't. It's just a hit and miss on that. Put the phone book. Good luck with the phone book. I don't know anybody. I don't have a personal home phone. No one in my family does. I'm not sure any of you guys out there have any, a personal phone, and if you're even listed in the phone book, or if you even keep up on track of that. And I can't tell you the last time I went to the phone book to look up anybody's name or address. So I put that on there for the simple reason, just that that still is out there. And I got a question real quick here. Let me get Kimberly. You are unmuted. Did you have a question, Kimberly? Hello? Okay. I'm trying to get you as soon as I can. Kimberly, you are now muted again. Raise your hand again if you need to. Okay. Neighbors. Neighbors is great for information about the owners and inside condition of the house. Sometimes, going back to that house, I could go to the neighbor and say, hey, do you know anything about this house? Blah, blah, blah. And I could either get a quick no and get out of my face, or I could be there for 2 hours and sit down and have a cup of coffee with them. You just never know. I always say, give yourself a little bit of time in case if there is an issue with talking to the neighbors. Okay. And once again, I've got asked, is everything okay with the screen? You guys still seeing it? Look at this. Okay. Still haven't heard anything, so hopefully we're going good with it. Sorry, I'm breaking. I'm just wanting to make sure everything is good for you guys. The neighbors, once again, give yourself some time if they decide to tell you a whole lot of information, and a lot of the stuff you're probably not going to care about. Most of it is not going to be any pertinent information to you. The main thing you want to know is, do you know who lives here? If yes, do you know their name? Do you know how to get in contact with them? And I was on with Pete and Ivan today on the radio show, and we kind of hit on this a little bit. And there's kind of a ninja tactic if you really want to know, who the owner is. There's a little trick that you can do that it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for someone who isn't. It's not for someone who's worried about getting a phone call and absolutely getting berated and cussed out. So if you don't have big shoulders, I would highly recommend not doing this. But go ahead and put a for sale by owner sign in the yard. For sale by owner. You're not the owner, and you have no right to do it in the yard. But if you want a phone call by the owner and they happen to still own it, and they're driving by and they see that someone has put a for sale sign on their house, you will get a phone call. It's like I said, if you're sensitive, if you don't have big shoulders, then please don't do that. Make sure you don't do that. Okay, I get Pete asking me if I could see the screen and if you could hear me. You guys can hear me. I've got the screen going, so we'll move on from there. Thank you, Pete. Okay, so we've gone through the best. The best two things are county tax assessor, a skip trace. We'll show you how to go through that. Google, phone book, neighbors is, I don't mind talking to neighbors. I like talking to them. You're going to find out a whole bunch of stuff. Again, you're going to find out more than you ever wanted to know. So here's the property information. This is the most important step before we move forward, is getting as much information as you can. We will not always be able to look or buying everything, but start good habits. Just start your habits good from the beginning. Go through the basics, bed, bath, square foot, lot size, condition, pictures, and comps. That's the biggest thing, guys, is the more information you give to us, the easier it is that we're going to be able to say yes to the deal. I'm probably going to say the best thing you can do on all this stuff, is the comps and pictures. If you can get access to it. I know a guy that would actually just take his cell phone to all the windows, take pictures, pictures inside the windows, and send it to people. So, it's kind of like having, two deals in your hand. You've got 5 of the 15 things that you want in this hand, and this person is giving you 20 things, more information that you can ever use that you don't need. So, that's the one that we want. We want the most information that we could do. That's exactly what we want. So, just keep giving us all the information, comps, pictures, everything. So let's find the current owner of this house. 38 Gulf Crest, Henderson, Nevada. First thing I do, I'm going to go up here on Google search. So punch in the Google search, 38 Gulf Crest, Henderson, Nevada. And what you'll do is you'll come to a screen like this that it'll show the location. Like I said before, you'll get the Zillow, the Redfin, the Trulia. It's going to show all the square footage, the size of the house, everything else. Let me do this real quick. Hopefully you can still see. Google. Haven't tried this live here. So Google, we'll put this in. 38. Crest Court, Henderson. It'll pull up. Here's your screen. It's exactly what you're going to see. Just like I said, you're going to get all the current listings. If it's been listed, the last time it was listed. Here's going to be your easy saving grace too. Okay, it was sold, and I already know that. Just look up here at the top. Last time it sold was $599. It's got 5 bedrooms. It's got 5.5 bath. There's the square footage. Lot size is 1/3 of an acre. Sold last time it was sold. So guys, I mean, there's, I would say, a good, half to, if not 3/4 of your job done right there. I mean, that's what we're looking for. Now, we don't know if the house is for sale. We don't know anything about it, but I just pulled this one up to show you what's going on with it. So I'm going over here. Okay. Have you done this? I'm just going to go back to a couple questions here because I've got a few of them and I want to go back and forth to them. Nothing has changed from the first slide. I have no idea, Mary. I apologize. Have I done this? Absolutely, I've done this. This is exactly one of the ways that I do this, and this the easiest way to do it. What happened if I did? You find out all the information. Oh, maybe you're going back to if I've talked to neighbors. Yes, I've talked to neighbors, and if I ever put a sign in the yard, yes, and I've gotten the wonderful phone calls of how bad I am for doing that. And I didn't buy the house, but I found out exactly who it was, and I passed it on to someone else that didn't make the phone call. And I don't know if they bought the house or not, but it was pretty good. I can only see your PowerPoint slide, Shakita. Man, I have no idea. I am right. I've got the full screen, and I'm on. Let's find the current owner. I don't know what's going on with the screen. Sorry, Scott. I meant to say I can only see the first slide. I'm on a cell phone app. Maybe it's the look. I don't know. This is the first time it's ever happened. I'm scrolling through it. I've got everything on. I don't know what's happening, guys, on this. Let me, once again, hang on. I'm still looking at the questions here. I'm going to try and pull up a different PowerPoint slide. Let me do this. Open. Hang with me, if you would. I'm trying to get it. PowerPoint. I'm still here. BirdDOG 2. Open. Let me see. I'm going to be hoping you guys can see something different. Okay. When you say the first slide, did anything change on the picture right now? Okay. Can you guys see this new screen? Just someone say yes, please. I don't want to lose any of you guys. And no, I just switched over the screens. No. Apparently the PowerPoint display you're seeing isn't the same one we see. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to turn my screen off for a minute, and I'm going to turn it right back on. Okay, I'll talk through this. Meanwhile, trying to figure out what's going on here, and I do totally apologize for that. Okay, I'm going to hit my screen back up, share my screen. I refreshed it, and right now I've got the current owner on it. Screen off. Yeah, the screen was off for a minute. Up close. A great looking guy up close. Oh, thank you, Mike Jensen. Yes. Oh, thank you. Let me do a quick recap. There's the beginning, correct? You see the picture of me and my wife on there. That's where we started. Where do we look? The job of a bird dog. That's the next one that we go to. I'm just going to quickly put these back up so that when we go to the when I go to upload this, that you guys can see exactly what I was talking about. talking about 10 minutes ago. I apologize. Finding the property, the internet realtor, word of mouth, classified ads, insider. Oh, great. For sale by owner. Here was the one that it seemed as though we started to have the problem. Off-market properties, vacant homes. The telltale signs, notice, keep out. Here, down here is the new home with no landscaping. Obviously, boarded up houses is going to be the easiest way. Finding, okay, here was the super key that I was talking about. This blue key right here on the bottom, that's the realtor key. These are the old school keys that we're going from. So remember, the super key is going to be pretty much limited to the realtor or the broker. These other old school lock boxes, contractor is going to have access to them. A rehabber is going to usually put them on there. I put them on all my houses. So we're going to go through the county tax assessor for the best, the skip tracing, Google, phone book, neighbors, for sale by owner sign. Yes, the for sale by owner sign is the nasty one. Here's the property information that we're looking up right now. The most important step before we move forward is get the information to me, get the information about everything that you guys have. Current owner, I pulled up the Google search to find the owner, tax assessor, neighbors, and skip tracing again. And okay, we're going to go to using the interweb. And someone put it over here already, Property Shark. I totally agree with that. Property Shark is awesome. Property Shark, it's on here. It's Property Shark right here. Skip tracing is just another way of finding who the owner is. You could do a reverse trace also by putting their name in and finding out where they live, or you could put the address in and find out who lives there. Spokio.com is another one that works really well. Property Shark, People Finder I use a lot also. It's great. It's just the same platform, same format as doing the Property Shark. Locate Plus and Intellius. Now, like I said, some of them are pay sites, and I don't want you to go out and spend $1 million on getting these if you're not going to use them. If you use them, it's gold. It works out great. If you can't find it through the county tax assessor, and that's the free way. That's always going to be free. That's unless I haven't come across any county that's going to charge you for access to the records of who owns the property. There's just, why would you? I don't understand the logic in charging, to find out, any information on your property from the county. But I don't live in your county, so you could live in some podunk county that's going to try and get every nickel and dime. Property Shark, I know, has a limited free offer, 5 properties or so that you can get to. And then after that, I think it was $19 for unlimited, but I don't know how long that was, 3 months, 6 months, I'm not sure. And here's exactly Property Shark right here. You go into propertyshark.com, the property search. I have an account here. It's not signed in. Put the address, put the county that it's in, and you just do a search. Here exactly what it is. Number of reports included: 1995 for 150. That's by the month. 495 for each particular one. But guys, really go to the county tax assessor. Find out what county you're in, and jump on there. It's all free. Here's the county assessor right here. I know that the property, going back to 38 Gulf Crest, the property that I drove by, wanted to see, who lived in there, who owned it, if the property was for sale. So it was in Clark County. Went up to Google Clark County Assessor's property records. Hit the button. Here's the Clark County Assessor's page right here. Go down. You could have it search for parcel number. Now, I'm sure that you're not going to know the parcel number of it. The owner's name, well, that's what we're looking for. We want to find out who the owner is. Address, bingo. That's exactly what we hit. We hit address. We're going to put the address. Here's the next page for the address. I went to the address page. We know it's 38. Gulfcrest, Court, Henderson. It shows down here, show current parcel number that's on record, or show present and prior owners of the parcel. Exactly what we want. It's giving it to us for free. It's just telling us, it's asking us, what do we want? And they're saying, it's Christmas, I'm going to give it to you. So we punch on there. Let's go this. We punch on there. I just pulled these up before. I can run it through on the Google, but just in case we had a problem, I just wanted to print these up. So now we've got the County Tax Assessor's Office, and they have just pulled up it's an Anthem bank. Here's the current owner, Charles and Diana Kim. Tells exactly who they are, purchased when they recorded the property, and you can look at all the past ones. And it just so happens that I used to own that property, so I knew it was going to work. I just wanted to verify it and make sure that that we had a good example. But you can pull this up on any of them. Now, if I wanted to get a hold of Charles and Diana, I've got their address, I've got their name. That's what else do you need? You know, there's not a for sale sign in the place. You don't know if the house is for sale, but it just looks like it's run down, and it looks like it's possibly distressed. Possibly they've moved out. You know, they could have, you know, a number of things. You know, that's another thing I was thinking of too. Is in Vegas, there's a lot of people that have 2 properties, 3 properties, 10 properties. You know, and an East Coast and a West Coast house. You know, there's a lot of sunbirds. What do they call them? Snowbirds. You know, people move out here for the winter, and then they move back to their home in the summertime. You know, on the other side. So you know, just because you drive by a house and there's weeds, it could be that they fired the landscape guy, and you know, something's going on with that. So, you know, there's a lot of variables in finding out all this stuff about a house, but you have to understand it's a numbers game. This is not going to be pulling up to your first house that's got weeds in it, sitting down. You could even do this from your car. I mean, as long as you have a smartphone, which I'm sure everyone has a smartphone, or an iPad that you can hook into. Shoot, even a computer. Just go on there, sit from the luxury of an air conditioning car, and do all this stuff without even going home. So it's a numbers game, guys. You can't expect to hit, you know, every single one. Okay, this house looks vacant. It's vacant. I find the property owner. I give him a call on the phone, and he's going to sell it to me for $100,000 under what everybody else is asking. You know, just know that you're going to be working this thing as a numbers. Let me jump on. Okay, Mary, what's the difference between bird dogging and wholesaling? Bird dogging and wholesaling is basically a wholesaler is going to be someone that gets a set price for a property. Bird dogging, we're looking for partners. You know, we're looking for money partners. We're looking for people that can find properties for us. A wholesaler usually puts the property under contract. We're not asking you to put the property under contract. We're just asking you to give us the information so that we can put it under contract. You get a fee at the end, or you get paid. We become joint partners, joint venture partners in the profits in the property. That's the one thing about you know, Coast to Coast and Pete and Ivan and myself. We're looking for long term. We're not looking for someone that to take advantage of. We're not looking for someone to work like a dog and not be compensated for. There's too much out there, you know, and this just happened to me today, and I'll tell you a story. It was someone that I have a house for sale, and a wholesaler came to me. It's not a rehabbed house. It's nothing. It's just a house. I bought a block of homes, bought a tape. Let's just go with that. Bought a tape. There's homes in there that I don't want, that I'm willing to wholesale to someone else. A wholesaler saw them and said, "Hey, I'd like to wholesale them for me." It's absolutely fine. I have no problem with that. I pay them a fee. They're not putting it under contract because it's my contract. So I'm not asking them to do any of that stuff. I'm not asking them to take property possession, pay anything for it. Just find me a buyer. So price is nominally priced. I mean, it's very underpriced home. And they said, "Okay, well, I have someone for you." And I said, "Okay, what's your contract fee?" And they said, "Well, I'm not going to tell you." I was kind of taken back by that. It's like, I'm not going to screw you. I'm not going to not pay you. I mean, it's all going to be written up in the documents. But it was this bone of contention that this person didn't want to tell me what they were going to make on it. And maybe I'm wrong, and you can surely tell me that I'm wrong on this, but the property, they were going to make more money selling the property than I was going to make. And I just kind of had some deep rooted part of me that said, no, I just don't understand that, and that's not the relationship that I want to work with. That's not the relationship I know any of us want to work with. It's a let's hold hands and make everybody make money on the deal. So, and I guess I could have been a little bit more, I don't know if we want to say classy, because I thought I was very classy on how I responded to it. But there's no hidden game. There's no hidden agenda. I don't want that to be, and I don't want to work with people like that. And it's just not in my being. I'll tell you exactly what I'm making on a property. We'll show you the numbers on the property. If you have cash to come in with it, then that's great. If you want to find the property and make cash that way, and then, build up your cash and then purchase them on your own, or build up enough cash to go into a joint venture with us, or by yourself. It's not, I'm not a boss of you. Like the kids would say, you're not the boss of me. Well, I'm not the boss of you. So I guess that's the difference, if that makes any sense to you. A wholesaler is, you guys find the property, you guys negotiate the price with the owner or the bank, you guys put the property in your name, and then you sit there and put the earnest money down. So your money is all out. You put the $5,000 earnest money deposit in, your money is out. And if you don't sell it, then you lose the money. That's my idea of a wholesaler. So if I'm wrong, I'm sure that you guys will let me know. Hopefully that answers that question. Another question is from Jeff. And guys, when you type these questions in, I'm just reading them verbatim. So if you say bad words, I'm going to say bad words. If and that's not a free reign for you, Mike Jensen, to say bad words. Do you guys undertake tear down, rebuild houses in a high-end neighborhood? Absolutely. I love those. I tell everybody my specialty, which I guess is a specialty. I love burnout houses. I love houses that have one wall standing. I love houses that you walk into and it's been condemned. As long as, and you hit it right on the head, not on the head, but on a high-end neighborhood, obviously, as long as there's money in it, we're definitely interested in that. Those are great jobs. Please, Jeff, yes, absolutely. So, Mary, I see. Thank you. I answered your question. Great. If there's any more questions, please. I'm going to go back and forth, try and answer everybody. And if you want to talk, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you, and we can go from there. So I think I went over the county tax assessor. There's the current owner right there, Charles and Diana Kim. They bought it in June 11th. These are the previous owners of the house. What's next? Contact the owner. You've got the information that you want. You go, but I still don't have their phone number. Okay, so how else can you contact that person? You know that the address, excuse me. You know that the address. Now you have the contact information, Joe, Kim, and everybody else. Let me, real quick. I'm going to answer this question from Fred. Undervalued wholesale properties are often distressed for legal reasons. Any luck networking with divorce lawyers, probate lawyers, bankruptcy lawyers who need to turn houses into cash? Yes, yes, and yes. I have actually on one of my I don't even want to say it's a power team, just on the people that I keep in contact with, my team, which works from realtors to divorce attorneys. Yes, I have attorneys on mine that any luck working with divorce lawyers, probate lawyers, bankruptcy lawyers who need to go. Bankruptcy is going to be a yes. You're going to have to find out if the house is going to, is going into bankruptcy, if they're claiming the house with the bankruptcy, which means that then you're going to have to go to the bank who owns the house. Sometimes if you wanted to get creative, that you can go to the owners, see if you can assume the loan. But that means if you can assume the loan and there's any money in the property during the bankruptcy, they're going to sell the property for the proceeds and the funds so that they could be split up through the divorce. So that's kind of the divorce lawyer. I do have my personal attorney that handles all of my my living trust and all that stuff. She contacts me when she has deals going on. That's another way you can buy cars that way too, when people are going through the houses and different things that they want. So I hope that answered that question. Another one is Lynn. Is it difficult to work with a bank on foreclosure prior to going to auction? The biggest, I'm going through that right now in Florida. The biggest problem that I've found and that I have with the banks on a foreclosure is actually getting contact with the asset manager. Now, the asset manager is the person who is in charge of that particular property. They have the property. They're in control of it. They control the strings on whether it goes to auction, whether it goes to a realtor for sale, or anything like that. So if you could find out who is the trustee for the bank who's taking care of that, who has that one under there, it's not difficult to talk with them. Absolutely, you can talk with them all you want. If they can sell the house for what the bank needs to get out of the house and save more money. You have to understand, when the bank takes over a house and they give it to an REO agent basically is responsible for the upkeep and the condition of that house while it's under their care. There's realtors that will spend upwards of $3,000 to $5,000 per house while it's under their care until they decide whether it's going to go to auction or whether that it's going to be sold by them. Now, they're going to get reimbursed for that, but if you can imagine, having 15, 20 houses at $5,000 a piece on a realtor, that comes out of their pocket until the house is sold. So it might be, it's good if you can get a hold of them. And if you can get a hold of them, find out what their bottom line is, because the bank is going to have a bottom number that they need for that house. They're going to have that number, and they're going to be able to tell you exactly what that number is. That's why a lot of the times when they come up for sale, that I've been running into this, it's like the house is for sale. They have it listed at 200. That the ARV on it is 240, and I go in there and offer them 116. They're going to come back, which I know that I'm not going to get, but you always ask. You already have no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. They're going to counter me, and then a lot of the times, if the realtor is up on it, or if the realtor has an inside track, they're going to say the bank needs this to get out of the house. They need 182 to get out of the house. So, then you have to work your numbers. So getting in contact with the bank asset manager, that's a great person on your power team. If you can get that, it's an awesome person. So Lynn, that's what it is. If on that, to work with the bank foreclosure prior to going to auction, absolutely. If you can get to work with the bank on that, and when I say the bank, that means whoever's in control of that address for the bank. So, all right, I don't see any. Oh, here we go. One more from Ada. Could you put up the screen again with the website that help you find the owners, please? Let me see. How about this one? Using the web. Spokio, Property Shark, People Finders, Locate, and Intellius. I hope that worked for you. I'll keep that up for a couple minutes here. Those are the websites, remember, that we go to find out. But again, people, and these are mostly pay sites. So again, county assessor, Clark County is where I'm at. So I know that it's a Clark County assessor's office. Go to those first. Do the best you can that way, because the county's going to know, again, like we talked last week, the county's going to know the square footage of the house, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, everything else. But as you saw, you can pull that up on Redfin, Trulia. It's going to tell mostly within a good reason. It's going to tell you real close to the square footage of the house and everything else. So we stopped on here. Contact the owner. Well, it's how do you contact the owner if you don't have the phone number? Now, there's more than one way to do that. You've got the address. You've got the homeowner's name. Send them a card. Send them a card that says that you're interested in buying the house. Now, this is probably what people are doing, and this is where we get into sending the yellow cards out saying, hey, I'm interested in buying your house. Well, we're not sending out 4,000 cards. We're just sending out to the one that we know. We've done a little bit of research on the house, that we know that the area is good. We know that I say the school system, but that's just kind of arbitrary. If you can't afford to live in the most expensive school district, then you're going to afford to live. You're going to buy where you can afford to live. So you have that. You have the name. You have the address. Send them a card. What's the information? Just simple. Hey, I'm interested in purchasing your house. Is there any information you can give me? And contact the owner. Well, then you go like this. You go, well, this is the next slide. I'm hoping you can see it. I'm kind of jumping ahead here. So you send out a letter to the people and say, you've gone to the phone book, you've asked the neighbors, you've done the for sale in the yard. So now you have the owner. You send a letter to the property. You have the owner's name. Letter will be forwarded. Address, service requested, forwarding, order lasts 1 year. So let me break that down. You've just sent a letter. Nobody's in there. The mailman has said that the mail, the mail is getting forwarded. So it's going to get forwarded. It's going to, and if it doesn't get forwarded, you're going to put on there forwarding order request on that card. So what's going to happen is if they have left a forwarding address, the mail company is going to have it. And that lasts for 1 year. So you've sent it to a vacant house. You've sent it to someone that you know that no one's going to get it, but they have a forwarding address with the I'm kind of stuttering here, with the post office. It's going to come back to you. You're going to get this. I don't have one. It's going to be a letter, and inside that letter, it's going to say postage, forwarding postage required. It's 75 cents. So if you're willing to spend 75 cents to find out where this owner that lives at 38 Gulf Crest is, you can get it for 75 cents. That's it. Pretty simple, and that's, once again, you have to understand, it's a numbers game. You're going to run into a lot of dead ends, but I don't want you guys to think that you have to spend, hundreds or thousands of dollars to send out a whole bunch of cards to a blanket area if you don't want to. You don't have to do that. Make it a goal. That I know that the 21-day challenge is up. There's thinking to succeed project with Pete. Write a goal down that you're gonna drive a different way home. You're gonna drive a different way home this next week, and you're gonna start looking for different properties. Now, I guarantee you, the first, if it's in the front of your mind, and you say, okay, I'm gonna start looking for properties, and you go the exact same way home, you're gonna see properties that you've never seen before. I mean, it's just inevitable, because as soon as you start up your car and you put it in autopilot, my car knows how to get home without me even steering it. And I'm sure that your guys' does too. But the minute you start, waking yourself up to looking for things are going to start coming out. I mean, I'm sure you guys have done this too. You've driven down the street and you go, oh my gosh, there's a new Taco Bell. And your kids tell you, no, that Taco Bell's been there for 5 years. I mean, it's just going to happen. And maybe that's just because I'm old, but oh well. Do you need to make money? Mike, how many do I need to make money? I have no idea what that question is. Okay. Don't know. give me more information. So, write your goal. Write a goal that you're going to go and drive a different way, twice this week, different way home, and just kind of look at the area. And, it takes 2 minutes to pull off to the side of the road, write an address down. Once again, if you wanted to spend the extra 5 minutes in your car and do it before you got home, do that. Just it's a numbers game, guys. And there's more than one way of getting information out there, and all the information is out there. There's no hidden secrets. There's no crazy stuff out there that's gonna hide you from getting this. Okay, Mike, I see your hand is up, and Mike, you are unmuted, my friend. Hey.
Yeah, I was just, hey, how you doing? Great
Good, man.
call.
Hey,
Great
good.
call.
Good.
No, I was just saying how many, what my point was is that yes, it takes work and it is a numbers game, but you don't need a bazillion deals to make money. The first deal you'll make money.
You're right.
And
You're right.
so it's like anything else. I remember I changed a radiator in a car. Well, the second time I changed it, I did it faster. The third time I changed it, I even did it faster. And I
Yeah.
think it's the same with this. If you pick one of the 10 ways of finding people, and you hone in on it, I think you just get better at it.
Absolutely.
And if you find, hey, the response isn't fast enough for you, well, then maybe you do something different. But I think the information is awesome. There's a lot of stuff here I wasn't aware of, and I am in the real estate business.
Well, good.
Thanks,
You're
brother.
actually learning something. That's great, buddy.
Quite a bit.
Hey, thanks.
Quite a
I'll
bit.
put your hand down if you have another question. Just
No,
raise it
no,
up.
no, that's good. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Okay, so there you go. So yeah, it's a numbers game, and like you said, if you get one deal, if you get two deals out of, geez, I don't even want to say, because I for some reason I think that I've kind of lucked out and gotten quite a few deals, and they kind of sit on my desk. But uh, you know, one deal can net you enough money to start moving up into the next thing, which would be a cash investor, joint venturing with us. So that's the way to do it. Send out a letter to that person. Send out a letter to that address, excuse me, with that person's name on it. They're not going to throw it away. It's not going to be junk mail. That's how they're going to do it, and you're going to get the forward requesting. It lasts a year with the post office. I don't know why I have a hard time remembering post office. It's kind of stupid. Um, so, just as a recap, what's next? Guys, there's deals out there everywhere, and I kind of wanted to just go over on how do you find out who lives in that. I hope I answered some questions, or at least gave you different insight on different ways of finding out who owns the house. Um, Internet, realtor, word of mouth, classified ads, insider, postcards. And I want to jump back to this one real quick. The most, you know, the best thing that it is the information. And information is, I'll try and tell you it this way. Information is if someone in your family is not in anywhere near connected to real estate and they can understand what you're saying, I will be able to understand what you're saying. It's just real simple. The bed, the bath, the square footage, and all that stuff. I just showed you. You could pull that off of an old Google ad that they have. I mean, this we just go through this. Put this screen back up. Okay, here's a Zillow ad that we went through. Here you go. It's 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath, 4,200 square feet, 1/3 of an acre, 4,200 square foot family home, 5-bedroom. So it's not even the information that you have to get is really information that it's just a matter of a button away. It's a push click away. So and yes, you're going to say, well, I could just give you the address and you guys can look at it. Well, absolutely. I do that all day long as it is. I look for deals on myself. I don't just sit here and wait for, my email to come in and say, oh, there's a deal. I'm going to go look at it. I'm constantly looking. So if it's a numbers game, then I'm up there in the numbers, as far as looking. And that's what you need to do, and again, Scott at C2CREIA, REIA.com, SCOTT at C2CREIA.com. And that will go directly to my inbox. I'll answer it. We'll look at it. If you want me to give you a phone call, give me your number, leave your number on there. However you want to do it. I'm West Coast time, so just remember that. And remember, throwing this slide up again. The blues are super keys that you're going to probably know for sure that a realtor is either listing it, has it as an REO, or has access to it and knows the particulars on it. So if you see a super key but no for sale sign, there's another one. You got a super key, no for sale sign, nothing's advertised on it. You punch up the address, you go on Google, you go on Zillow, you go on everything. It's not listed. You can't find anything out. Okay, well let's try and find out who's listing what bank has that property. I mean, that's another way of doing it. Go in the area, just call the realtors, the local realtors. Now that's kind of a far-fetched one. That's a way out there one to find out anything. But usually if you have a realtor in your back pocket that's working with you and you tell them this address, they have access to getting into that property. Number one, access to it. And number two, access of who owns that property or who is trying to sell that property or anything else. Real quick question from Mary. I'm going to read it. My realtor sent me a portal that contains homes that didn't sell. What do I do with that? May seem like a silly question. Absolutely not. That's one thing, Mary, or anybody out there. There's no silly questions. I'd rather you ask all the questions right here, because we were talking about this today. The questions that you ask here, I can answer to 28 people right now. If you ask me a question on an email, next week I'm going to get the same question, and 2 days later I'm going to get the same question. It's a great question. Realtor sent you a portal that contains homes that did not sell. What do I do with that? Start doing the research. You've got the information on it. You don't have to worry about finding the owner. You don't have to worry about the price. You know what the price is. See if there's money in them. See if there's value to them. Start doing comps. Have your realtor send you comps to those properties. If they didn't sell, it didn't sell for a reason. Now we can go into thousands of reasons why it didn't sell. Usually the number one is it's too highly priced, and that's the easiest way to go with that one. But get her or him to give you the information. Comps for the area. If it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, that's just the standard of whatever. Give you comps within a mile of that 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2.5-bath, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Doesn't matter. Just have them give you more information, and that's great. I mean, so check this out. So Mary has gotten a realtor that she's working with, and this realtor has just voluntarily given her all these properties for sale. Now, whether they're good or not, but Mary, you don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You've got more information. You didn't know that those houses were for sale. So, I mean, that's a great one. Do a little research, see if it's worth something, see if you like the deals, and see if there's money in it, and see if there's any negotiation. Obviously, I don't care any house that has a for sale sign for $1 million or $100,000. There's always going to be negotiation, whether it's going to be negotiation to pay more or whether it's negotiation to pay less. That's it. If there's a house for $100,000 and the comps in the neighborhood are 150, there that you're going to negotiate for a higher price unless there's something drastically wrong. I'm talking about a perfect house in a perfect world. So that's great. I don't know how many houses that they gave you, but you've got 5, 10, 2 houses more than the next person does without doing anything. It's perfect. Mike, got one more. How about a goal for this group, one deal in the next 30 days just to show that it works? Mike, that's awesome. Guys, if there's 20, Pete told me to keep my glasses off. So 20-some people, 28 people on this call. If one of you guys, if each of you drive a different route home this week, find a house that you didn't think that was for sale, find the owner, find whatever it out, and let's get a deal together. There should be no problem with doing that. And for a month, geez, I don't know, Mike, it's kind of a long time, but I'm all for that. So guys, trust me, I want to put more houses under contract than you can imagine. So, and get everybody working. It's a numbers game, and the quicker you get started on it, the easier it is. Because I remember my first house, and I think I've said it. It was out of state. It was in California. I purchased the house on pictures. I rehabbed the house on pictures. I did all of my conversation over the phone. I never stepped foot in the house, and $47,000 later, it was in my bank. So I I have no problem doing houses without seeing them up close and personal. You know, I have no emotional attachment to them. And you as a flipper or as a bird dog or as a wholesaler shouldn't have any emotional attached to them. There's just a number sign at the end. If the numbers work and the deal works, then it's a good deal. And that's kind of my mantra that I always put inside my head. Whether it's $1 million house, a $2 million house, a $50,000 house. I've bought houses at $5,000, and it was a good deal because I could sell them for $7,500. That's a 50% return. You know, so you know, don't overlook the small deals. It's the small deals. You know, the pennies the pennies are make dollars, and the dollars make your bank account grow. So that's kind of a little one there for you. I'm going to go, if you hold on, I'm going to go through a couple questions here. Great show. Thank you very much, Jeff. Is there a way of getting a list of properties with equity that are in default? Cynthia, is there a way of getting a list of properties with equity that are in default? Yes, I am sure there is. Off the top of my head, with everything that's going on, I'm not sure how I can answer that real quick. Send me an email and I'll get information out, and I'll try and go over it next week if that's okay. But Scott at C2CREIA.com, and that the 2 is a number 2. The number 2 CREIA. That's SCOTT. I'll get that back with you. Another one from Ada. So if it's a good deal, if a good deal gets found, you buy it. If a good deal gets found within the parameters of the numbers, absolutely, we buy it. We put it under contract, which means that we're eventually going to buy it. Yes. So the first thing is we have to make sure that the numbers work. Make sure that the comps, comparables. That's not a comparable from Zillow. That's a comparable from a realtor and sold within the last 90 days. Please, that's exactly what we want. So yes. You have to love that. Yes. What are the parameters for a deal with C2C? Someone asked that earlier. Mary, I'm sorry, I'm getting this too. Parameters. The parameters right now, we're looking for properties across the United States. We have teams in Boston. I have a team in Florida, a team in Atlanta, Vegas, Southern California. So the parameters are very wide right now. There's no minimum price. There's no maximum price, as long as the spreads are within 65, 70%. And I say that very vaguely for the simple reason that I don't want to put anybody into a box. I hate working out of a box, because if you do that, then you close your eyes to other opportunities. And the opportunities meaning that there might, from the beginning looks of it, it might not be a deal. But if we've got all the good things, we've got good comps for the neighborhood, we've got great a great house, even if it's a bad house. That's why I hate the box, the whole syndrome of we're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a great school system that's on a half an acre, that is not on a corner, that doesn't back up to a freeway, that doesn't do the parameters are open. Usually, if the deal is I'm going to say within the parameters, but we don't have any. As long as there's numbers in the deal. If the numbers work, if there's a spread in the deal, and the comps will substantiate a sale, then we're buying it. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And I hope that sometimes that makes people mad when I don't give them, A, B, C, D. And I hope I hope that's not the case here. There's so many opportunities, guys. It's just ridiculous that I want to keep it open to everybody. And Mike, I think it's a great idea. If we can get one from this show under contract, would be great. And if we do that, I'll go through the whole system that we went through. Send me the deals, Scott at C2CREIA.com. Also, I was going to say something here. C2CREIA.com. And let's get one under contract. One thing too is at the end here, I'm going to go over something that I'm doing, and I know that quite a few of you on the call are doing. If you have a question and you want to talk, just raise your hand, okay? Let me see. Kimberly, your hand is up. Kimberly, are you there? Kimberly? Okay. I'm going to mute you again. No problem. Um, Something that I'm doing, and I know that quite a few of you guys on here are doing, it's the 21-day challenge. It's just spend 5 minutes to write your goals every morning, and I'm gonna challenge each one that's on this call to write your goal that this week you're going to take a different route home, not two different routes, just take a different route home and observe the area. Spend an extra 5 minutes, driving a different way. Maybe it takes you 5 minutes, maybe it takes you 10 minutes, but just go a different way and keep your eyes open. Keep a pen, a pencil or a pen in your car, and a pad of paper, and write down addresses. Very simple to do. Write your goals. If you don't have a goal, then where are you going? If you have a goal that you want to make $100,000 this year in real estate, how are you going to start that? Are you just going to wake up one morning and going to find a deal that has $100,000 in it and it's going to happen? There's steps that you need to do. I would strongly encourage you guys to go to the 21-day challenge, Pete Asmus 21-day challenge on Facebook, and get your goals written out. Spend 5 minutes in the morning, right there. It has right here at peteasmus.com/21-day challenge. So that's what I would, kind of ending this on tonight, on how we find the owner. I hope this helped you guys out. Hope it, if it did, I just send me a line and say that, what worked. If you guys like this call, I would really appreciate if you would get on, talk to a friend, for next week, next Monday. Let's make this thing huge and let us all benefit from it. I'd love to see, everyone out here, getting a deal, making money, so that we can move to the next step. Write your goal down, right. Just, I'm telling you, 10 minutes in the morning. It says 5 minutes. I'll go with that. Spend 5 minutes. But if you spend an extra, whatever it takes, just write your goal down. Write it is. Write 5 personal, 5 business, and 5 community. I always thought that I could make this all by myself, but without a team, you're not going to do it. I've reached my limit by myself, and that's why I jumped on with these guys. And it's a great group. We can change a whole bunch of things with jumping on each other. So with that, if you have any other questions, okay, Ada, what's my email address again? My email address is Scott, SCOTT, at CREIA.com. And that goes directly to my inbox, and I will get back with you. If there's questions, ask them. If there's anybody that wants to speak, I'm looking for anybody's hands raised. If not, we're going to try and get this done. Thank you very much, Mary. I hope it helped you out. And Ada, thank you. And for everybody that's on here, geez, we haven't lost anybody. So I'm glad that this has hopefully been good for you guys. If you guys have anything that you want me to talk about or go over to help you guys out, send me an email. That's what this is for. It's not, you pay absolutely zero except for maybe an hour of your time. And trust me, I've paid thousands of dollars for a lot of this information that I've gotten through the years of doing this. Education is a big key to moving forward in this. And if I could help educate you, and trust me, I don't know everything, and it's going to help me to learn more also. So I appreciate every one of you guys out there, and thank you so much for joining us. Look, one more time. That's it. And I'm going to sign off now, and I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great week. Thank you.